with a quick statement from Coach Riley, and then we'll continue the press conference.
All right, thanks for being here. We'll get to the game after. We're very disappointed that the Pac-12 didn't allow Christian Roland-Wallace to play in the first half of the game today. Not one time in the offseason were we informed of a pending suspension. We became aware Thursday afternoon after the majority of the preparation was already done. Upon learning about the suspension, we felt the need to go back and look at it ourselves. We requested video from the incident in that Arizona State game last year. When we looked at it, it was apparent that Christian was not involved in any way that you could even imagine an ejection. We feel like that it was a incorrect call. When we brought this to the attention of the conference, they stated it was too late and that the ruling had been made. Whether he played or not is not the most important thing to me, but in my months here with Christian, I've seen the kind of person that he is, the kind of teammate that he is, and I don't want this to put him in any bad light because it shouldn't, and it's wrong. And so I think very important to make sure that what happened in this matter is understood. Christian's been a very valuable member of our program, continues to be, and we're going to make sure that his reputation stays intact like it rightfully should.
Did they have a justification for why they didn't inform you guys, or why it wasn't before the first game instead of this game?
No, I mean I think it was an oversight, and listen, it's with guys transferring. All that's going on right now in the world, there's going to be mistakes made. We're not perfect, right? I make plenty myself. I just think disappointed that there aren't mechanisms in place, and even if they're not, that's when sometimes you just do the right thing. And I think the video was very apparent. We've seen every angle, every bit we possibly could. If there's something we're missing, then I'm wrong. But from what we've seen, again, you got a senior here that's busted his tail. We don't get 60 games. Missing a half a ball for a guy that wants to help his team, for a guy that wants to go play in the NFL, that's a big deal. And most importantly to me, the reputation of somebody that's been a class act for us from the beginning. So that's just where we're at.
We'll do one more on this and then let the players in.
Did you get to talk to Jed Fish about it? Because it sounds like he wasn't even aware, and he was obviously part of that game.
I did. I talked to Jed, to Coach Fish yesterday. I don't want to speak for him, but I think we both feel the same way about it. So it is what it is. We're going to move on. Most important thing to me is not trying to send a message in anybody. I'm not trying to send some crazy message to this conference. That's not my goal here. My goal here is understand that this kid did not deserve, from what I've seen, did not deserve to sit, and I want to make sure the reputation of him stays intact. That is the number one goal, and then we'll all move on.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thanks, everybody. All right, now onto the game. Listen, I think we made a lot of improvements throughout the week. We really challenged these guys on all parts, challenged ourselves as a staff, and I thought that really showed up. That the guys played well. It was great to see. Again, a lot of guys be able to play. We saw playmakers on all sides. I thought our young players in particular really, you could tell this one wasn't their first game. Like the eyes weren't quite as big at the end, and you saw some guys really settle in there and make plays. Obviously, Stanley's fumble return was probably the major highlight of the game. When big people score, football is more fun. So that was awesome, and yeah, proud of all sides. A few plays here and there that we're going to want back that we know we obviously have to continue to clean up, but we took a step this week, and we got a big one coming up. We've got to continue to take those steps.
How did you feel the defense responded to being down 3 linebackers, and is there an update on Cobb and Gentry?
Yeah, Cobb and Gentry, we don't think they're long term. They weren't ready to go today. I mean, I don't think that had nothing to do with the opponent. I don't believe they would have played regardless, but they just weren't ready. And I thought guys stepped up. Shane Lee stepped up and played well. Rajon stepped up and played well. Tackett was doing some really nice things before the ejection. So no, I thought the guys really stepped up, communicated. You saw the run defense was really stout all night, and really, we gave up 2 fade balls. That, you don't discount those. Like, those can't happen. We have to get better. Other than that, we played pretty clean football.
Shane, you were out for here and there for a majority of the fall camp, and coming in the big spot today with a lot of reps were kind of entrusted to you. How did you prepare? How did you feel like you kind of responded and took that challenge on today?
First off, credit to my coaches for putting me in the right position and always believing in me and instilling confidence in me, as well as my teammates. Haven't been on the field a whole bunch through fall camp, but just always taking reps, always asking questions, and just always being around the guys. That way you never get away from it, and they've done a great job of always keeping me involved. So, really just a credit to my team and my coaches.
Coach, how nice is it to have a quarterback like Caleb when you're still rotating through the offensive line, working through so many receivers? He's kind of the constant when you're still figuring some things out. How nice is that?
Yeah, he's been pretty steady the first 2 games, and obviously his mobility, shows up at times. So no, it's been good. I do think the O-line was much steadier today. Really, I think offensively, you'd point to the penalties as the big negative. We had a couple up front, but we played much steadier, communicated better, looked more. Kind of had the makings of a good group today, and a little bit more in sync. So positive steps there.
Lincoln, you had kind of a front review to Caleb's drill on the first shot of the Dory on the sideline. What did you think of that play?
Yeah, it was a good play. I was yelling at him to throw it away, and sometimes I'm mad when he doesn't listen to me. This time I was glad he didn't listen to me.
Coach, obviously he can make a lot of magical plays. What are the things that maybe you or he are trying to emphasize the most in terms of that next step, the next progression as a next head?
Yeah, I think situational ball, and these guys would tell you that's been, I think for the whole program, that's been a big emphasis point. It's year 2 now. This is not brand new for everybody. We did more situational ball in this camp than any camp I've ever been a part of. Putting these guys in these situations where it's not only executing the call, but understanding, where you're at on the field, what hash, how this split matters, how this much time on the clock, do they have this many timeouts? All those things factor in the game, and you see our team starting to understand that more, and that's we've tried to do that with Caleb. We tried to do that with all these guys, and there's been some real positive signs so far.
Coach, you win your first 2, but you're playing non-conference, lesser opponents. How do you get a read on these first 2 games before you head into conference play?
I just gauge it by our team, and you've been around these guys a lot. Now you're starting to get a feel for these guys, where they're at individually, where they're at collectively, what we can be. For us, it's just a steady climb, right? We can't beat anybody till we play them, and so you got to continue to climb throughout the year. I do think we took some really positive steps tonight, but in college football, every week's its own story, right? You scrap it, you learn a few things, and then you just start over, and the matchups and challenges are going to continue to change. And so we know we got a good one coming in here next Saturday night. We need this place rocking, right? Next Saturday at 7:30, we need this place rocking. This will be, potentially the last time these schools match up for a long time, and there's a lot of significance to that. And having that one here at home behind a great home crowd is very important.
Tom, can you describe your connection with Caleb in the first 2 games of the season? It seems like both of you guys have been kind of firing on all cylinders.
Just being assignment sound, being where he needs me to be, and just making plays after that.
Coach, with all the young guys, that you have playing, how easy or hard is it to kind of, tell some guys that you might want a red shirt just because there's so much depth at, key positions?
Yeah, we're all kind of having to get back in that world. COVID took us out of that for a while when everybody had the free year. It's like you kind of forgot about the 4-game red shirt for a while, and we're all back into that world. So we'll take it on a case-by-case basis. But if guys can help this team now, then we're going to lean towards playing them. We're going to need a lot of guys. It's a long journey, and these 3 guys have been through some of those journeys. It's a long year. You're going to have different lineups. We're going to need different people to step up. It's not always going to be the same people every week. And I think we got a roster full of guys that are hungry to make the most of their opportunities whenever they come.
Coach, in the first half, your offensive scoring drives were 4 plays, 3 plays, 4 plays. do you start adjusting your play calling to maybe give the defense a little bit of a rest?
Well, I mean, yeah, at times you do, sure. You know, you can't really help it when an inside zone play pops. I mean, that's, our defense is never disappointed when we score. We're never disappointed when they stop somebody. I'll put it that way.
Is Caleb where you want him to be right now?
Hard question to answer, honestly. I mean, he's improving. Yeah, I can't say I'm like disappointed with how he's played, but he's got to get better, right? Like it's not like I told you guys about the game last week. Everybody wants to look at the score and then just write the story, and there's so much to it. And so there's some things he's done really well, especially the situational ball, and some understandings defensively I think have improved. But we've had a handful of plays in both the games that we both want back that we got to go get and not leave on the table here going forward.
Let's do one more.
Is that him?
Not yet. We'll have to see. Keep our fingers crossed. Go ahead, Keely.
Marshawn, it sounded like you felt you were pressing in week 1. What adjustments did you make in week 2 to have your first touchdown?
Honestly, just taking coaching, just patience. That's my main thing. Just patience and being able to just take coaching, being able to be put in the right position. So that's coming into this week. Was be in the moment, not worry about anybody else, and focus on nothing on the outside, and just focus on everything that's on the inside. So just being the best I can be and being coachable.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Well said.
Thank you.